Clint Ford. I'm representing the UCMG, stands for the Upperclassmen Music Group. Born and raised in Gwinnett County, that's down here in Georgia, right outside the city. I take a lot of inspiration from, obviously, Ayo and Keys. They're my OGs, they're my big brothers. But other than them, a really dope producer by the name of Hit Boy, obviously Kanye West, Jay Dilla, and vinyls. I really take inspiration from those guys as well. Yeah, my biggest placement today is obviously, I'd say Chris Brown. I just got one off of his latest album called Indigo. It's a track called Trust Issues. I co-produced it with one of the other producers on the team by the name of Marco Maybe. It was one of the first beats that we made. It was in another session. Like I said, we're kind of like a powerhouse. So we would go into a session with a bunch of writers, songwriters or artists. We would load them up with beats. We would kind of, get into their vibe and see how they would work. But sometimes, once they get rolling, we go off and we make another one, or, we're in the corner. So we actually made that beat. It was one of the first collabs that we did. I had just met him 2 days before. It's one of the first collabs that we did. And, it went its ways. Shout out to one of our homies, Derek Milano. He sat on it for a little while, and eventually it got to Chris. And yeah, now it's on the album. Yo, it's Clint Ford representing the UCMG. I've been given the task to make a beat with 3 random sounds given to me by Spinrilla. So we're about to get into it right now. So the first sound is a candy bar wrapper. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. Any producer with a hip hop background can kind of use that as a texture, you know what I'm saying? Next one is an Astronaut Breathing. I've never heard an astronaut breathe, so I don't know what it's supposed to sound like, but I have no idea what I'm gonna do with that, to be honest. The last one was called Scary Demon Haunting Adam. Scary Demon Haunting Adam. This really could sound like some Yeezus, you know what I'm saying? If you flip it right, it could sound like Yeezus. Travis Scott. It's something crazy. Yeah, so I'm definitely finna play around with this joint. It's mad bass heavy. So take out some of that lower ends. That's crazy. Let's get the tempo right. I wanted to set the tempo first because basically when I first heard this, it reminded me of some Yeezus or some Travis Scott, something crazy like when this gets played at Coachella or something, you want people to mosh. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like some rage. So I'm gonna play around with that, see if I can make an up-tempo joint, like Jaden or something like that. You gotta shave your head if you perform to this, you gotta shave your hair right before you perform and just get the crowd going crazy. That type of rage, that's what you need. So let's see what I can do. Yeah, so basically I'm trying to find, I feel like I only needed this part. If I need something else, I'll go back and stretch it out and see what else I could grab from it. But just trying to find some chops, make a little loop. Don't want it to get too repetitive, but we'll see how it goes. When producing, it feels like it feels like you're freestyling sometimes. You never know what's gonna happen. You just kind of go with the flow, and we just gonna see what it is with these. I'm trying to take out as much as that, whatever that is on the bottom, on the low end. I'm trying to take out as much of that as possible. Because when I add drums and the 808 and all that crazy stuff, I don't want it to clash. I also want it to feel kind of spacey, so got a chorus in there. We're gonna put a flanger, whatever you want to call it. let's give it a tune. Just resonate this joint. Got one lower than the other to add that bounce. You're gonna see in a second. So just adding a snare, want to make it grungy, but I also want to kind of like make it pop at the same time. I think we just gonna keep it simple. Just nothing too crazy, no rolls or nothing like that. Let's add some kicks. It's like in my mind, I feel like I'm like 10 steps ahead. Yeah. Make sure all these joints hitting on the same level. Trying to create that bounce, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Something like sickle mode, carousel, something crazy. With this, you know, it's gonna be repetitive here, so we can just copy paste that. All right, let's go back to this, because I just don't like how it's just playing. We could probably play with the effects. Cool, let's grab some of them other sounds. The candy bar wrapper could probably sound dope. It's like a texture underneath. Just gotta make sure it's something that everybody can hear though. That's crazy. Add some reverb to that. Still got that astronaut to use, but hold on, let me see what else we got. See if I can find some like instruments to add on to that scary demon sound, because I don't want it to just be by itself throughout the whole beat. So here's a fun part, we're just gonna vibe out. I feel like when it comes to producing, a lot of people try to overcomplicate. A lot of people try and like fill every channel with something, every pocket with something. When in most cases, it's really just about structuring the record and leaving room for whoever's on it to just go crazy. So you don't want it to be too repetitive, but you want it to be like a template for artists to come in and do their thing. I think I should switch it up after these bars right here. See if I could make like a drastic difference. Yeah, I bounce it in place. Instead of working with like actual MIDI, I bounce it in place and then it turns into an audio file. And so whatever you do to that audio file from this point on, to me, it gives like a sample vibe to it. And when you sample it, depending on how or who you're doing this for or what type of vibe you're going for, it can give it like a muddy feel, a grungy feel, like it wasn't yours, but it is yours because you played it. You're just sampling yourself. That makes sense. kind of like I like using my keyboard more than just typing it out at times, but I don't know. I kind of do both. It's just sometimes it's better if you play it because you can, add that feel to it, whatever it may be, whatever you're working on, whatever the case is. Yeah, that's all we need on that. When I must have been like, I don't know, like anywhere from 8 to 12. My mom she wanted me to take lessons, and I took lessons for a little while, but I stopped because I thought it was corny. Now I wish that I had kept on going because I could have been crazy, classically trained and whatnot. So I have like some sort of background with music. I played the keyboard for a little bit, and I even played the trumpet in high school. And not too many people know that, so y'all got the exclusive with that one. But I kind of stopped, took a break from all that. I even had the guitar in my hand for a little while. Live instruments are a vibe. There's a lot of tracks where we have I got some homies that play the guitar. So I hit them up and say, yo, here's a skeleton track, see what you can add to it. Just do you. And they'll send it back to me like within an hour, and it's crazy. And then from there, that's when I add my thing and do what I do. So live instrumentation is dope. Having somebody who can like play the keys or do this, that, so on and so forth, dope too. I'm kind of like, I just work with anything. I come from, I got this new MacBook here, but I was making beats off of a broke back desktop computer for the longest. I still got one more sound I haven't even used yet. All right, cool, hold up. Let me see if I can add like this percussion. Add this in there. Another thing I like to do is, add like stuff that may have been live instrumentation at one point, like, drum, hat loops and things like that you can either record or, wherever you can get it, and then kind of like, fit it into whatever you're working on. A lot of people only use certain things that work with certain things, but someone like me takes certain things and we fit it and we cater it to what we're working on, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna have this in like the way, way back, like mess with the chops a little bit. The first part of this little loop, I want that hitting every time the kick hits. Could probably pitch it down a little bit. Tweak with the end of this section just to lead it on to the next section. One thing that's kind of weird is like I always like stop and just like I always stop and like play it from the top. No matter like if I finish like one little section, if I add one instrument, okay, bet, stop, play it from the top. Just to kind of just, look back and okay, see how it's looking so far, and then go back in and do the dirty work. Dang. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna add this astronaut sound. So this astronaut sound is literally the same thing all the way through. Yeah, let's give it that same pump effect. Oh yeah, it sounds like some rage. Cool, so if it's like a hip hop record, you're gonna like wanna run that back like one more time. But then like right before you get to the hook or something, we could probably break it down and add something crazy. So let's copy this over. Let's add like a sub bass or something. Mute that bass for now. Like I said, like the craziest thing about producing is like structure. So you gotta like right now in my head, I'm envisioning Jaden Smith, because I've seen the clip like 1,000 times. Jaden Smith shaving his head and then going like on the stage and then just hopping around and then seeing thousands of people like mosh. and go back and forth. So like, I'm envisioning that in my head. I'm envisioning that in my mental space, trying to get into the right headspace, trying to figure out like what he would do, where he would rap, where he would just not rap and just have people hopping around and whatnot. Kind of 50-50 on these plucks. So we're gonna see what it is. I think it's hard if it just stops right there and it goes like straight into the verse or something. Just something right here, because this is like the end of the verse, going right back into the hook, right? So it's like you need to take a break from, all the rage, the drums and whatnot. Take a break, and then you want it to just go back in. You want like at the last bit of this right here, right before it gets back into the hook, right back before the drums come in and start slapping. You want like a breather of like barely anything on the beat. And think of that as like a countdown. So like if someone like Jaden or Travis Scott is like, about to mosh or go crazy, you want, you want them, just and then start moshing and acting up. Let's see. I got this lead. I think I'm gonna throw on there. So I'm gonna throw that in there, but it's gonna be like way in the back. Way in the back. I'll probably throw some reverb on it too, so it's kind of just like, almost like around, like around you. So, doesn't have to be anything perfect. Yeah, we definitely need snares. Oh man. And you know what? I think I'm gonna add like more hits to the snares. Yeah. Sometimes I do that. Like I'll like finish something and then go back and like, you know what? Let me just like make like the smallest change. You make the smallest change and then you have to end up, like changing almost everything. I'll hear something. I mean, it's just what you do with creating. You hear something and you want to try it out. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That's when you're, with artists and they're rapping and then somebody's like, yo, try it this way. It doesn't hurt to try, trial and error. If it doesn't sound right, or if you feel like it takes away from what could be on a record, like that extra snare hit that I added could get in the way of someone rapping. If they're in their own pocket and they, it could throw them off. You never know what the case may be, but, trial and error. Sometimes I have my snare patterns like that and it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Pretty sure I use all three sounds. Scary Demon, the Astronaut Breathing, and I got the candy bar low as a texture. So just add this little tag. One of my good friends, she's up in Tennessee. I went to school with her. Basically, I was just like, yo, I need a tag. We need a tag. I want it to sound something like sophisticated, like the Maybach music tag, but something that we can throw over R&B, something that we can throw over a lot of stuff. So she sent me a whole bunch of things. She sent me her. She sent me her younger brother. He's like 5. He was doing some stuff, but I just came across this, and I pretty much using it on everything that I do and everything that we do as a team that I'm on. I just slap it on there. That's that. 3 sounds. Scary Demon is what I was rocking with the most because I don't know, it just had the most to it. The other stuff, I kind of use as textures, add to it. It's kind of inspired by like that Travis Scott vibe, that Jaden Smith vibe, that mosh pit, like rough. Definitely Jaden. Yeah, we throwing Jaden on here. We throwing Jaden on here. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, grow his hair back, shave it, and then just run out on stage and start hopping around. Yeah, we throwing Jaden.